In this video, we will be servicing the lubrication system in this 2018 Ford Explorer through the driver's side door. We want to locate the hood release latch. And after we release our secondary safety latch, we can gain access to the engine bay. And taking a look inside the engine bay, we will be focusing our attention on the frontmost portion. We are looking for the oil fill location and the oil dipstick. The oil fill location is identified by a black cap that says SAE 5W20 with a picture of an oil can. And the oil dipstick can be identified as a yellow ring, which is in close proximity to that oil fill cap. Next, we will be taking a look at a couple components underneath the vehicle. And prior to crawling underneath the vehicle, I have first set up this vehicle on rhino ramps under the front tires. I have installed safety stands underneath the vehicle in case the rhino ramps fail. I have wheel chocks behind the rear tires, and I've set the parking brake. If we take a look underneath the vehicle, this is looking towards the rear of the vehicle. We can see our oil pan sitting right up front. And if we take a little bit closer look, we can see that oil pan. And right next to that oil pan, we have our oil filter. The oil filter can be identified as a metal cylinder. On this vehicle, this one is black. And if we take a look at our oil pan from the back side of it, we can clearly see our oil drain plug as well. We want to place an oil pan directly underneath the oil plug. Using a 15mm wrench, I can loosen up the drain plug. Now, I have previously warmed up the oil by driving this vehicle for about 10 minutes. This warming of the vehicle will help the oil flow better out of the vehicle and into that drip pan. And we're just going to let this oil drain all the way out. And our goal is to get as much of the old oil out as possible. So we're just going to let this drain for a while. And with our oil drained out, we're going to reinstall our oil drain plug, tightening it to 20 foot-pounds. And with my drip pan repositioned underneath my oil filter, I can loosen up that oil filter. I should be able to get this by hand if it was previously installed correctly. And if we take a look up at the adapter plate where the oil filter connects to the vehicle, we want to inspect the mating surface. We want to clean this, and we also want to make sure that the rubber ring from the old filter is not stuck up on that mating surface. And I always like to compare my old oil filter with my new oil filter to make sure that they are basically the same size. I can double check on my old filter that the rubber ring did in fact come off. And on my new filter, I want to add just a little bit of new clean oil to that new rubber ring. This will help it seal up in the engine. And then our objective is to reinstall the filter hand tight and then go an extra 3/4 of a turn. And with our new filter installed and the drain plug torqued, we can remove our oil fill cap and install a funnel. Now this vehicle takes 6 quarts of Signature Series 5W20. And then we can remove that funnel and recap our oil fill location. Now at this point, I like to clean up everything remove the wheel chock, safety stands, and back the vehicle off of the rhino ramps. In doing this, I will let the vehicle run for about 15 to 20 seconds. This will get the oil flowing in the engine, and then we'll be ready to check the dipstick and take our reading. And with the vehicle parked on a level surface, we can clean off the dipstick first and then reinstall it to take our reading. Now if I take a look at my reading, I can see that my oil level is between the low and the full mark. This is an acceptable range. I am a little bit towards the lower end of that acceptable range. My preference is to be a little bit higher, so I'll add just a little bit more oil and test this again just to make sure I'm comfortable with the amount of oil in it.